Hey guys, welcome back to Margot Watches Movies. My name's Jake Margot, and tonight we're going to be reviewing Ironheart. This is a show I did not like. This show, I did not like it at all. Well, let me get the one singular grain of positivity I can for this show is they had two excellent needle drops as far as music choices in a scene that made me snap up out of the reality of my phone and back into what Disney Plus was hoping would be my attention, which was playing Sinnerman by Nina Simone and playing one of the singular most underrated Lupe Fiasco songs of all time, Kick Push 2 off his debut album, Food and Liquor. And for a show based in Chicago, I'm glad they took the obvious choice and played one of Chicago's greatest artists, Lupe Fiasco, in this show. So there's my positives. Positive, singular. Where do we begin? Let's start with the premise, huh? The premise of this show is a young, brilliant woman named Riri who is at MIT under a prestigious grant to express her genius and follow in the footsteps of Tony Stark. Now, I'll side note here, the show starts off with her best friend Natalie, who dies. And she is saying, I'm going to be bigger than Jobs, Gates, and Tony Stark. Okay, well, let's see it. And where does the show go from that opener? They go from this woman at MIT into the Dean of Admissions office. She's been expelled immediately, scene one. And she's been expelled for plagiarism and selling projects to other students. And she, on her way out of college, steals the suit that she built with grant money, flies home, and joins a gang of thieves to find her dreams and achieve them. So, with all the young and impressionable minds of Disney Plus probably tuning in for this show by the dozens, we get to see our hero join a gang of thieves led by Anthony Ramos, who walks around in a Count Dracula cape and can turn invisible and has like veins going down his back that he tries to hide with tattoos, as they want to stick it to the man and to the system and show the world that their talent shouldn't have been overlooked by thieving and committing extortion and blackmail and shooting people. So, yeah, what can you say? The very foundation of this show is so broken because, again, our hero starts her hero's journey by being expelled for breaking all the rules, and then takes that lesson, joins a gang, commits massive amounts of felonies, like lifetime in federal prison, to get enough money, because as she claims in another related scene, when someone asks her, are you as smart as Tony Stark? Tony Stark contributed a lot to the industry, so I'm not going to roast Stark off the rip, but I don't have $1 billion. And it's writing like that that makes you realize these people writing the show, I don't know who they are, but they come across to me like dumbasses, have no clue of the essence of what this character is supposed to be. I don't know the comics, but if you're trying to make a show based off Iron Man And where the first Iron Man started was Obadiah Stane, whatever the hell his name was, Jeff Bridges. I'm so over Marvel now, I can't remember the guy's name. I used to be able to quote off lines of his like I was reading Steinbeck out of a diary, and yelling at one of his techs, Tony Stark built this suit with a box of scraps in a cave. Yes, he was a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, genius. But at the end of the day, Tony had his ingenuity from what he could create right in front of him. And for the show to go this route where the main character is constantly complaining about how the system is stacked against her and her financial problems, and then resorts to not petty crime, federal penitentiary, maximum security prison, felonious amounts of crime. It's just hard to latch on and root for her as a person on the sidelines. Now, is this show made for me? Obviously not. But I think that's part of the problem is it lacks a broad appeal accessibility, because it's very clear who the show is marketing itself to, and hopefully it's a hit with its intended audience. I am not the intended audience, and I found this show to be a disaster at times, boring at others, meandering. I think there are a few aspects of like well lit shots. The visual effects don't come off exceptionally shoddy for a Disney Plus show, but it continues an embarrassing run for Disney Plus Marvel. A shameful run, really. Oversaturating itself has led to these massive dips in quality, and Marvel finally has figured it out a little bit, because this year their slate has been dry for the first time in a while. And I really think post Endgame, with the exception of like Spider-Man and maybe a tentpole movie a year, they should have just stepped away for 3, 4, 5 years and build the back anticipation that people needed. But instead, greed overtook itself, and now we're left in a pile of smoldering ashes of what once was. And I think this show, as someone who, before he started this channel, I don't like to hate watch things. This is a show I would 100% have skipped and just watch people talk about it on the internet. And I'm sure this is going to have yet another vitriolic discourse around it. You're going to have adamant defenders. You're going to have conviction-filled detractors. But at the end of the day, this show is not very good. It's boring. It's embarrassingly written at times. The dialogue in this show reeks of like that SNL skit with Steve Buscemi where he shows up to high school as like looking like modern day Steve Buscemi with like a backwards multicolored like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air parachute hat and a skateboard, and is like, yo, what's up, kids? Whoever wrote this dialogue comes off to me like that. Like they're trying to capture the essence of hipfulness, youthfulness, and it just sounds like an old person wrote it. And it's very cringeworthy at times. And it's trying too hard at times to say, yo, my guy, look how hip we are. This show's a failure. And I hate to say it, but it is. And I don't know if you noticed the background. I promise I paused it at just a random frame, but this is what you're getting in this show. So is it worth your time? I don't think so. Not for free. Not even if you're pirating somebody else's Disney Plus login. You don't even pay for the monthly subscription. I don't think it's worth your time. I wish I'd watched The Bear tonight instead, which I will, and I'll have a Bear review, and hopefully it's a lot better than this show. But overall, this is a show made by dumbasses, produced by dumbasses, greenlit by dumbasses. And I haven't even talked about Alden Ehrenreich showing up. Well, what the hell is that guy doing in this show? Dude, fire your agent. Why are you in this show? Obviously, as whatever his name is, Obadiah Stane's son. Like, my dad was a big guy in the tech sector. Oh, yeah? But he didn't like suits. He didn't like people that made suits. He yelled at a guy about a box of scraps. And I cry and talk to my therapist. Dude's an embarrassment in this show. What happened to him? Han Solo to this? He was an Oppenheimer, for God's sake. Fire agent, dude. It's an embarrassment you're in this show, pitiful bastard. You dumbass. So, all in all, this show to me is a total failure. I'd give it a 2. Total failure, high-end, total failure. I can't compare it to Echo. I can't compare it to Agatha, Sing Song, Witchcraft. I can't compare it to She-Man, She-Hulk. Not pictured. And yeah. If you want me to keep watching this show, give me 75 views, give me 15 likes, give me 10 plus comments on this review. I'll keep watching the show. Okay? It'll be huge. It'll be huge. So, yeah, and by the way, you see what I just did there? I took a very valuable lesson I learned in this show from the main character, which is extortion is the way to accomplish your dreams. She literally extorts and blackmails a guy in this show to make sure she can get first responders to places faster. So it's a dumbass show made for dumbass people. So if you want to enjoy it, what I literally just said, take it as you will. This is Margot Watches Movies. I'm a dumbass for having watched this show. Hope you guys have a great night. All right. Wait, oh, you thought I was going to click the camera? No, hold on. I'm going to make you sit here for a little bit longer and just wane in this dumbass show. All right, now we're done.